for making Saints Central
your black and gold home for the New Orleans Saints.
Who that say they gonna beat them Saints? Who that? Who that? Who that say they gonna beat them Saints? Who that? Who that? Who that say they gonna beat them Saints? Who that? Who that?
Yeah. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Long as I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports Coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like Elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube Live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shame for the championship. Fucking on town, duck down. Falcons pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy, then you probably smell the crooked referees or Roger Goodell. Fucking like this, and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
Welcome. You're now rocking with the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys, where we have intense, entertaining, educating, and enlightening sport talk from your favorite sports family. I'm Big Q chiming on this episode of the Coma. Shout out to the fam as we welcome in a very special guest, former Super Bowl champion Daniel Wilcox. That's a Ravens man, so we got to talk Ravens. But Mr. Wilcox, we're gonna bring him in here, man. He's a Raven man to the core, and we welcome him into the Sports Coma to talk some Saints Ravens Week 9. We in the building. Shout out to you, brother Daniel. Welcome into the Coma, bro.
Big Q, man. Thanks for having me on, my man. I'm excited about being on the Coma.
Appreciate you, bro, for being here, man, and representing that Raven Nation, bro.
You see it, be more.
Hey, I see you, bro. Hey, I tilt my hat to you.
I see it.
But yeah, bro, we go, bro. Listen, man, I was doing some research on the Ravens, man, and I was telling you before the show started, bro. I was like, man, one of the biggest things that I see, because you guys right now are sitting up here. Let me see, your record is what, 5? You guys are 5-3 at the top of the AFC North, and you guys made some moves. Number one is bringing in the top tackler in the NFL, Mr. Roquan Smith, in a trade with the Bears to solidify that Baltimore Ravens defense. What's your thoughts on that, brother Daniel? What you think that Roquan will bring along with Pat Queen and the rest of those guys y'all got there on the defense?
Well, yeah, I know that. I like that move a lot. You know, Eric DeCosta, I just think he's like Megamind, sitting up in there just masterminding, you know, plotting on who they got, who they gonna bring in, who's playing well. You know, what could be the biggest change in the Ravens organization or on the field. And Roquan Smith, I think, is a huge, you know, factor moving forward this year. And especially, I even like how they structured the contract. I mean, we're only paying him basically $600,000 this season for the season. You know, he's still getting paid, you know, from the Bears. You know, they're going to pay him all the rest of this year. They owe him like $5 million. So we only got to pay $600,000 of that $5 million for the season. Just think that we got the best tackle in the league. You know, he's a Georgia boy, so, you know, he holds a little special place in my heart. You know, me being from the ATL, right. You know, so just to see him come in, and I know exactly, you know, where he was, you know, how he was bred coming up through college and, you know, through high school ball and stuff like that. I know exactly what kind of player he is. You know, he's a physical guy, super fast, could run to the ball. Kind of remind me of Tavares Gooden, the guy we used to have back in the day. And, you know, he played at University of Miami. You know, he was a 4'3", 4'4" guy that could run sideline to sideline and hit. He'll hit hard. He's a physical guy. And to me, he's exactly what exemplifies, you know, Raven football. You know, we smash mouth physical football team, and we're going to out-physical you every single game. And to bring somebody like Roquan, who's leading the whole NFL right now in tackles, and put him on a team on a defense like this, with Mike McDonald, a new DC, a rookie DC in his first year in the NFL, coaching an entire defense. I think it's a really good compliment and a really good toy or a player for him to be able to have underneath his grasp, to be able to kind of mix things up a little bit and kind of complicate things for other teams.
Yeah, I listen, Brother Daniel, I'm gonna keep it real with you, man. I was looking at that, I was like, good Lord, why couldn't they do that? Well, it was the trade deadline was there. I was hoping that maybe we did have to see that guy. But listen, that's a big move right there.
He's already penciled in the starting lineup. You see that? You check the depth chart yet? Go online, type in your depth chart, Q.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
He's already penciled in.
Oh my goodness!
Left inside linebacker,
bro. You are right as rainwater. There it is.
Next, he ain't even took a snap. He already in there.
Oh man! And look at that though, man. It's him and Queen together there.
It's crazy.
My goodness, man, that defense. But you miss smash mouth football. Yeah. Listen, that's the Ravens. Let me start it like this. Let me just ask you about this because I'm looking at statistically about the Baltimore Ravens, and I'm seeing the passing attack. They got you listed at 26 in NFL, 204.4 passing the ball, but y'all strength is running second in the NFL, averaging
smash mouth
165 and a half. Yeah, 12, and then total yards per game 370. That's 12. Yeah, smash mouth defense. So in many aspects, the Saints and the Ravens mirrored each other because the Saints take pride in running the ball too. So you said smash mouth football. This is going to be a physical game, man.
Yeah. You know who I know who's going to be really upset they missing this game, man? Marcus Williams. He was a former Saint. We got a chance to snatch him from you guys last season. He came in and he kind of set the tone for what the defense is right now. So if you check our turnover ratio, a lot of that is because of Marcus Williams. He came in right off rip, causing interceptions, script fumbles. And he's led the team, man. He just did a phenomenal job. And I think we're one of the top 5 teams right now in the league as far as turnovers on defense. And that's Ravens football. We used to always turn the ball over. Back in the day when I played, Big Q, we had Dion, we had Ed Reed, Samari Roll, Chris McAllister. We was deep, man. They would catch that thing and pitch it back to each other. It was like watching backyard football all over again as a kid. Exciting football.
Yeah, that was, man. I remember all those guys, man. You couldn't do a damn thing with the Ravens defense, man.
You couldn't, man.
Dude, that was like with Ray Lewis running. Oh my goodness, man. Yeah. I forgot Deion Sanders was there too, man. I forgot all about prime time.
The first year I got there, he came in. They brought him in. I signed. I actually was coming from NFL Europe and got back from Germany. The Ravens signed me. We started training camp and all that stuff. Next thing you know, we hearing rumbles. Deion may be coming. I'm like, what? Deion? Prime? He coming out of retirement? He coming out of retirement, man. Damn. Joker came out of retirement. They put his lockers like right next to mine or 2 lockers down. So it was really close to mine.
Dropped a little game on you there, Brother Dan. You dropped a little game, sprinkle some game.
I'm telling you, a lot.
He made a game, bro. I've been listening to some of his stuff. He getting me bucked up.
That's my dog. I'm telling you right now, man. Just spit so much game, and he basically a pimp walking. He's just a pimp on 2 wheels that played football. If he didn't play football, he had to stay in the streets. He was going to end up being a pimp.
Yeah, he is. I mean, the game that he drops, like the things that he was talking about with Jackson State, what he got going on, and how he motivate, and man, he just Deion just gives it to you uncut, raw. He's just the real deal dude. A lot of wisdom in that guy, bro.
Yeah, it's one thing to have a good coach, Q, and it's another thing to have a good coach that actually played the game and was the best player at the position ever.
Wow.
So I mean, when he speak, you listen, and he has some serious gems, man, because he's did it on the highest level that you could possibly do it, and almost every aspect of his life, so it ain't nothing that you could really question him on, man. He's a really influential guy, in our community, in our neighborhood, to be able to be one of our coaches. And I just think it's such a phenomenal thing that Jackson State did by hiring Deion.
Man, what he's doing for the SWAC alone is totally I don't have words for what he's doing with the SWAC.
All you gotta do is say College Game Day. Shit ain't never happened.
Yeah, never happened before. Prime, man. I was like, damn, he's amazing, man.
Yeah, man. It's unbelievable. I went to App State, so we just had College Game Day like 2-3 weeks ago myself. So it was the first time ever for us too. So I just think it's a lot of things that are changing in this world right now, man, and it's phenomenal. It's just like your quarterback change.
Yeah.
My bad. I wasn't supposed to say that.
Nah, well, It's the truth. It's the truth, brother Dan.
My bad, Big Q. My bad.
That's it. But that's a good segue there, though, brother Dan.
Yeah.
That's a good segue there.
A lot of things changing.
Right. A lot of things change. You know what I'm saying? Hey, listen, some people were surprised, some people wasn't too surprised.
Right.
But let's start like that. Let me get your thought process on, the quarterback chain, thoughts on Jameis versus Dalton. What you think, brother Dan?
Well, so this is my thing, and I have this conversation with people all the time. Like, everybody in this NFL, in this entire league, is an all-state, all-American, all-county, all-conference, all-district. Yep. They all-stars. Every single player in the league is an all-star. I don't care who he is or how sorry you think he is. He was an all-star for somebody. Mm-hmm. To me, Jameis Winston, Dalton, both of those guys are top-notch quarterbacks. They both were high draft picks. They both came into this league with high expectations. Neither one of those guys are sorry. When it comes down to competing, they both competed against guys as talented as each other for a long time, and they won. They beat them out. So when it comes down to it, Jameis Winston, he won. I used to be on the board of this award ceremony, this award company that was called the Watkins Award. Oh. And this award was like one of the most prestigious awards you can get, from an African-American, player in high school, right? Okay. Jameis Winston won that award when I was on the board, right? Wow. So, like, super talented athlete, extremely smart, like 4.0 student in high school, sharp guy. He didn't go to Florida State by whim. He went there because he qualified. He was high qualified, high SAT score. Mm-hmm. You had to submit like a 10-page essay to even win the award. So everybody's 400 or 500 people that submits every single year for this thing. Mm-hmm. He won it. You remember Myron Rowe that played at Florida State?
Yes,
Myron also won it as well when I was on the board. And Jameis is a sharp guy. He's a super intelligent guy. Mm-hmm. For some reason, he's that guy that's super intelligent but want to be cool. And I think sometimes that gets misconstrued and crossed over from the guys, and it doesn't transfer over as being authentic. And I think, to me, it don't rub people the wrong way. I can't say it rub guys the wrong way, but guys kind of see through it, I think. And I think that's what his biggest downfall is. I think if he was just to be the cool nerd that he is, the respectful guy that he is, the sharp guy, intelligent guy that he is, people wouldn't question him who he is, because he's J.O., my offensive lineman in Baltimore, Jonathan Ogden, used to read books every day. He didn't hang out with the whole team. He read books every day. Every time you saw him, he in a cold tub, hot tub with a book in his hand in a whole nother world. It's like he's not even there, So, and I used to ask him what he was reading all the time. We'll have conversations about the book. He would give me things and say, man, you might want to read this one, Wilcox. It's a good read, So he could be exactly who he truly is, and I think people will find him okay. But I think that he has that constant battle of, being, where he from, how he grew up, where he played ball at, him being too intelligent, like you remember, Crowder called Russell Wilson cornball or square, right?
Yeah.
Jameis don't want to be that guy, and I really feel like if he just was who he really is, and I'm not saying that he's fake, because I don't want it to, sound like it coming off like that. Mm-hmm. But just be you, bro, and just go out and play ball. You're so intelligent. You're so smart. You're so smart. Put the time in. Forget all the distractions, all the things that goes on around us in the NFL while we're playing this game. Mm-hmm. And the game is played at such a fast pace, and our lives go at such a fast pace while we're playing it. Right. We've been playing this game. I started playing at 5, Q, and I retired at 32, right? So when you start thinking like about a guy like Jameis that's been playing this game so long, he's probably as smart as any of the coaches out there. He has to get to the point where he's a Drew Brees and he is the coach out there. And I just think he's missing that opportunity. And that's the only reason that Andy beat him out. It comes down to me putting in the extra effort, me putting in the extra work, me blocking out everything else that's around me not even caring, the Tom Brady factor, Like, he getting a divorce right now because he's like, no, I love this game too much. I give it too much. I give it everything of me. I still feel like I can play it. I'm gonna go play it. If you really love me, you'll stick by me through this process and let me ride this thing out. Even though she's already sacrificed so much for him. But you got to be the guy that's willing to throw everything away to be successful at the quarterback spot in this league. That's how I feel. And I just feel like Jameis wasn't ready to throw it all away yet. And I think Andy Dalton has already been up. He's already been down. He's been on the bottom. And he's like, man, I know I can still play this game at a high level. Let me go out here and show people he got something to prove right now. And I think Jameis has been so good for so long that I don't know if he even feel like he got anything to prove. He probably like, forget you. If you don't believe in me, you don't believe in me. It is what it is. And I think he got to go back to, I got something to prove.
Brother Dan, you dropping a lot of gems, man, on the insight, because, a lot of people, it's this perception about Jameis Winston, the quarterback, throughout the NFL circles. And I'm pretty sure you seen how a lot of the media people see him, like some of the national people call him goofy and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And it's and that's the persona. But before Jameis came here, I'm gonna be honest with you, I didn't like Jameis Winston, the Tampa Bay. Well, listen, I'm a New Orleans Saint guy, so I don't like Tampa Bay. So he was the Tampa Bay quarterback,
right?
And he represented them. So when we would beat Tampa Bay, I was like, yeah, but they had some shenanigans, like the morning he was poking Lattimore on the back of his helmet, and Mike Evans blindsided Laddie Daddy. He did that. Then it was another incident where Cam sacked him, and he pulled this it's just kind of stuff that I did not like. Stupid stuff that he would do. And I was like, man, I don't want that guy here doing that. But then again, when he came here, I got to get a man credit, because I wasn't a Jameis guy, but he won me over because I seen him work his tail off. He was a third string quarterback. Brother Dan, the guy was making just over $1 million. He fired his agent because of it, but he was making just over $1 million. He was getting paid less money than quarterbacks who didn't have none of his experience.
Wow.
So he started from a third string quarterback and worked his way up into the starting position. And when I seen his work ethic and the things that he was doing in the community, and his mind, and his being a man of God and all this kind of stuff, he got married and everything, that was like, man, this brother here turned a lot of stuff around.
Right.
And I love that. I'm a promoter of that. Yeah. So that's how I was like, yeah, Jameis is, I respect that, because I seen him do it.
Right.
But but with the move, they went to Andy Dalton. Baltimore Ravens, like we said earlier, they have a familiarity, the coaches do, with how he plays.
Absolutely.
You think that'll factor into how you guys think that they'll get to be able to slow him down and stop him?
Absolutely. I mean, the best thing that he got going for him is that McDaniel is a newer DC. But if it was like a Rex Ryan in there, or Wink Martindale that was still there, they would have all the ins and outs about this dude. And I'm sure the defensive staff collectively has a pretty good, idea exactly who Andy Dalton is, his miscues, his goods, his bads, his positive, his negatives. This thing is broken down so much nowadays with analytics, where they could actually know that he rather roll to his right versus rolling to his left, So, and it's like, when you think like that, all right, if a quarterback only want to roll to his right to throw the ball, that's where you feel is most comfortable. Well, let's make him uncomfortable. Let's not give him the right to roll to at all. I'm gonna make him roll left every single time. So that's how that's how strategic it is to the T. You see, all right, when he lifts his hands like this, it's a dummy snap. When he lifts his hand like that twice, then they're gonna snap the ball, or it's gonna be some kind of fake or something. They pick up all the tendencies. They look at his hand signals, his eye signals. If he slap his thigh, they know what that means by now. So it's one of those things where you have to continuously evolve as a player and to continuously evolve as a coach to be able to pick these guys apart. I mean, everybody is sharp, everybody is smart, and he's been doing this for a long time. He knows how to throw the ball to a spot. He might not even see a receiver. He's gonna throw him open, because he's been around long enough to do that. And by this time he's way comfortable in this league. And when you start to get comfortable at that quarterback spot, you can start doing some things that you used to do when you was a little kid on the street, on the streets playing park ball or playing in the streets with your friends and stuff like that, man. So you see all these guys doing no look passes and stuff now, Q.
Yes, sir.
That's the stuff we used to do in our backyard when we played. You know what I mean? So that's how the guys are starting to get a little bit comfortable at that position, man. It's such a phenomenal game to watch. And I think Andy Dalton has a lot of upside still. And I still think he's a heck of a football player, and he could do some great things in New Orleans. And you guys got such a dynamic quarterback room, with Taysom Hill, Winston and Dalton. I just think it could be something that's really, really, really good, for you guys, and I would like to see, I like the Saints. I've always liked the Saints. I've always been a Saints fan because of Travaris Cadet and, and then my boy that played running back, Ingram, I like Ingram a lot. I feel like the Ravens dropped the ball when they let him go.
Yeah.
But
he's doing good up there.
Yeah, man, he did really good for us. But and I felt like he brought so much energy. He was a Baltimore Raven player through and through, and it was because he was bred through New Orleans like that with y'all guys, you know. So y'all set him up for greatness. When he came to us, we was able to appreciate him a little bit more than you guys, and he you know, the light shined on him quite a bit here in Baltimore, man. So, but I mean, I love New Orleans. I love what you guys got going on down there, but I still don't think you guys any match for the Baltimore Ravens. Sorry.
Well, listen, you being honest. I like how you put that in on the back end of that good breakdown there. That's pretty smooth there.
You know, I've been told I've been smooth in my lifetime. Go ahead.
There you go. So let's do this, brother Daniel. Let's talk about you guys' quarterback. Now, listen, the offense flows through one individual. It's Mr. Lamar Jackson. Now we know you look at the statistics there in terms of the passing. Passing don't look like all that, but like you said, it's built on ground and pound, and he's a big part of that rushing attack. Right now, he got 550 something yards, just rushing yards and 635 stores. So everything goes through Lamar Jackson. So the key to it will be stopping him, you know, and going. So talk to us about Lamar Jackson this year and how he's looked. I know you guys won 2 games in a row now, feeling pretty good about yourselves. Talk to me about Lamar Jackson this year and all of the stuff that he had to endure. Do you think he's settling down and finally zoning into what everybody thought he could really be?
Absolutely, man. I think the thing that impressed me more about Lamar is his athleticism, and the thing that's most impressive about him is the thing that people hate most about him. It's so weird, you know. It's like, how can somebody be so dynamic that you hate him for it, right? And it's like, you can sit down and you say, all right, well, he can't throw the ball. The dude can throw the ball. He dropped dimes every single week, in and out. He dropped dimes. His quarterback rating is one of the top QBRs in the entire league, you know, week in and week out. You know, he's a phenomenal player, you know, but people really don't give him the credit that he deserves because his passing numbers are not like Tom Brady-ish or Aaron Rodgers-ish or Peyton Manning-ish, you know, and you have to consider the fact that none of those guys was rushing for 100 yards a game, you know, so every carry that he get for those other guys was a pass. So to me, his carries, you got to add them on to his passing yardage, you know. So it's just, to me, he's just that dynamic of a player. But because he only throws for 150 or 200 yards or 230 yards, 280 yards a game, you know, people are like, oh, he didn't throw the ball that well. Dude, he just threw for 280 yards in an NFL football game and ran for another 105 or 150. You know, in an NFL football game where he's making grown men look like little Pop Warner kids out there. You know, that's how bad he's making them miss. You know, so his athleticism is why people hate him the most. But you look at our record at 5-3, we could easily be right now, you know, 8-0 easily. And when you look at the 3 games that we lost, you know, you're talking about we had the lead in the fourth quarter and we came down and gave up the lead in the fourth quarter, and people still look at that like it's Lamar's fault. You know, one of those games we was up by 28, I think, and we end up, you know, giving up 28 unanswered points, and on the defensive side, we had busted coverages. It was against Miami early in the year, and it was just a crazy game, man. It's like when you look at that game, there's no way we're supposed to lose that game. You know, Lamar did everything in his power to win that game for us, but the defense had a lot of mental errors and a lot of breakdowns. We had busted coverages, and Tyreek Hill and Waddle were running down the field scot-free. And, you know, we ended up losing the game that we already had in the bag and in the books. You know, so when you look at all the games that we've played this year, you know, we've pretty much been in the league in the third quarter, going into the fourth quarter, and we end up losing, you know, 3 leads and gave up 3 losses this year, and we could easily be 8-0. And that's how dynamic of a QB that he is. You know, the defense has been struggling early on in the year, and they starting to finally kind of come together and gel a little bit. And hopefully the Roquan Smith move will be exactly what we need. And then we got a couple of guys coming back off IR that you haven't even seen yet this year. And then we got Dobbins back for the first time in almost a year and a half, and then he get hurt again and go back out again. And Gus Edwards came back, then he get hurt again, and he's out again too. So it's like we got a bunch of guys, man, that are starting to get healthy, starting to come back. And every week I feel like we're getting stronger as a team, and it's going to be extremely hard team to beat, you know, later in the year. You know, now we got Deshaun Jackson, Roquan Smith added to our roster. Don't forget Deshaun Jackson was sitting at home on the couch. How you let somebody with that type of speed sit at home on the couch? I don't know, you know, but we got them. Thank God for us.
My goodness. And all against us on Monday night. We got a tall order to deal with, man, with Roquan Smith, Pat Queen. You bring Deshaun Jackson in right when Bateman has his issues. He goes down. Duvernay is a speedster. This guy is so quick. He run. I scouted him. Brother Daniel. This guy he was so fast, he was running into different time zones. That's how fast this kid is, man. He's a blazing guy. He is going to be available as well. So yeah, y'all definitely have some weapons. I like to try to talk a little mess, but I'm kind of reserving myself because
I would too if I was you. My bad, BQ. My bad. It slipped out. I didn't mean it. I didn't mean that.
Now, the thing is, listen. The Lamar Jackson thing when you was breaking down on you talking about, throw me off on that one now. But you talking about Lamar Jackson. Listen, Lamar Jackson is averaging 69 yards a rush this season. That's his second highest total in his career. So, and listen, I'm reserved because where y'all strengths at is we're weak there. Lamar is phenomenal in extending plays.
Right.
He gets outside of the pocket. He can throw and he make things happen on the run. We struggle with that.
Right.
We have not been able to literally stop guys. We struggle with Kyler Murray doing the same thing. So he is the ultimate guy when we think about scrambling quarterbacks or guys, athletic quarterbacks that can stay in the pocket and throw the ball. He's the one that really is a big test for the Saints defense. Now we blanked the Raiders 24-0 this past week. The Ravens are a team that we're looking at and we're saying there's a lot of mirror here insofar as the philosophy. The Saints like to run the ball like you guys, second in the NFL with that. We like to play defense. Our defense woke up and they took the onus and started really handling things, set the tone for the offense. But it's a very tall order in my mind to slow down Lamar when he got new weapons at Deshaun, and then he's a running back in his own right. You have these other defensive assignments. I'm not saying we chop liver, but we just have to bring up that intensity there, Brother Daniel. So let's talk about Lamar's weapons, because the wide receivers ain't it. It looks like y'all top guys, Mark Andrews, the tight end. What's going on? Why no wide receivers, bro? You love checking it down to the tight end. Is that what's going on?
Hey, man, you finally get a quarterback that actually know what the best part of the game is, throwing the ball to the tight end.
Of course.
Me being a former tight end myself, I would have loved playing with Lamar, and I honestly feel like the easiest throw on the field is the guy that's right in front of you. Why throw the ball on the edges when you got a phenomenal athlete inside that can't nobody cover? I don't care who you put on Mark. He's a mismatch. He's too big for safeties and DBs. He's too shifty and smart, for linebackers and safeties and stuff in the middle of the field as well. One of the things that impressed me most about him when I got a chance to kind of scout Mark Andrews was that he was wise beyond his years. He knew how to sit down in zone, how to run away versus man, and he understood leverage. And guys don't usually learn. I didn't understand leverage, I think, until probably maybe year 4, year 5 in the NFL. This guy was in year 1, year 2. He came into the NFL already understanding leverage. And that means he had a really good coach growing up, or somebody really taught him the game well. I mean, he knows how to make a linebacker sit still. He knows how to make a linebacker move. He knows how to make a safety hold his position. He understands the coverages and the breakdowns of everything and stuff that's going on the defensive side of the ball. He knows when to check hot. He looked for the hot throws well, and he just does such a phenomenal job. He's a guy that's a bigger body, and he understands, the most important part to being a quarterback's best friend. Everything he throws to you, you catch it. You make no excuses. You catch it all, and he's that guy. And when you got a guy like him in the middle of the field, it makes those guys' job on the outside a lot easier, man. So Deshaun Jackson to come in, a Bateman with the Duvernay, all the guys that we got that got speed, it makes their game a lot easier because they have to pay attention to Mark Andrews. You take 1 or 2 guys that have to cover him. Don't forget you got Lamar Jackson, who's a speedster himself. You got 1 or 2 guys that got to look after him the whole time. That's 4 guys accounted for in your defense. So if we could just beat the other 7 with the rest of the guys, we good to go. So now when you bring in, when you get guys like Gus Edwards back, guys like Dobbins back, and then Drake, Kenyon Drake has been having a great year for us as well. So if you can start getting those guys the ball more, and then they start to become a factor and people start keying on them, just imagine how wide open Lamar is going to be when he pull that thing and start running with it, man. So, we got a lot of threats, man. We got a lot of guys around Lamar. To me, they're doing a great job of loading up the offensive side of the ball to keep him in a good situation, and he had one off year, which was last year. And to be honest with you, the whole first half of the year, people was talking about MVP talk. Then he lost all his players. He lost 30-some players on defense and offense last year. And then all of a sudden it's Lamar's fault, that we ended up 8-8 or whatever the situation was. So, I mean, it's going to be a great season, I think, this year for the Baltimore Ravens. And Lamar Jackson is going to be the reason why, having those other components and stuff, all those are just icing on the cake, but Lamar is definitely the X factor on this team. And he's the reason why I want to go buy a player jersey for the first time in my life. All the jerseys I got hanging on my wall, they're either Wilcox or my teammates, guys I actually played with. Right. I never actually went out and just bought a player jersey that's current and said, I'm going to wear a jersey of a player, but I'll actually wear a Lamar Jackson jersey. He's made me a believer of that position. The only other guy whoever thought I would buy his jersey was Michael Vick. And y'all know how much damage he caused you guys down in New Orleans. So
don't remind me,
my bad, Q. I didn't mean to bring that up. I keep hitting these soft spots in your heart, Q.
Bro, you gotta,
I'm not a dirty dude. I'm not a dirty dude.
No, you're not, but you're just telling the truth. You're just keeping it real. That's what it is. But Michael Vick was the problem, man. And
he was a problem. That's a good way to describe it.
He was a problem, but you know what? The rest of the league share my pain because
everybody
everybody
except us.
Well,
we the ones that hurt him.
Yeah, but y'all had like that awesome defense, man. But see, we know a thing or two about great defenses. We had the dome control down here. Y'all had that fantastic defense that y'all had with Ray Lewis and all. Man, listen, man, y'all had a squad up there. But let me ask you this, brother Daniel, man. Y'all guys' offensive line is doing a pretty good job of running the ball and keeping Lamar Jackson upright. My thing is that we have to and let me throw in some points, if you will, about what I think the Saints defense need to do to get a W on the Baltimore Ravens. We're gonna have to contain brother Lamar. You got to contain him. We can't allow him to leak out and create plays with his feet. That's a recipe for disaster. He's the best in the game at doing that. And he's phenomenal throwing the ball on really pretty accurate throwing the ball on the run. He's just an awesome guy. He needs to get a lot more respect than what he does. That's why I'm like,
I agree.
He's the guy that really we have to wrangle him. Everything starts and begins and ends with Lamar. We have to be able to contain him and then be disciplined with our blitzes and be able to get to him and frustrate him the best way we can. That's what it starts with. So it starts with our front four. So that's what it comes down to, in my opinion. Outside of that, bro, I think once we do that impacts the running attack because I think he's your top runner, over 550 something odd yards of rushing. So he is everything. He's the heart and soul, I want to say, of that offense. So if we can slow him down a bit, we can get some success on you guys. So you come into the dome, we're gonna be bucked up, we're gonna be antsy. We gotta keep our turnovers low. But you know what? Let me give you an opportunity to respond to that, brother Daniel. What do you think about what I just said? What do you thought process on that?
Big Q, I thought it was well said, man. I honestly agree with you 100%. The only problem is everybody in the NFL, thinking the exact same way you thinking. That's what we got to do. The problem is, in order to contain Lamar, you got to take away Mark Andrews, right? And he's questionable, I think, this week. He's been banged up a little bit, shoulder injury, leg injury, stuff like that. Right. So you got to take him away. And then as soon as you take him away, you still got Duvernay, you got, Deshaun Jackson, it's a guy, Prochet, he hasn't got a lot of balls, but he's the real deal too. It's James Prochet kid from SMU. And, but I'm waiting on him to turn into like the next Wes Welker, and then you got a guy also by the name of, who am I trying to think of right now? Isaiah Likely. He's a rookie tight end we brought in this year. He had a really good game last week when Mark Andrews went down. And if you ever watch any of his college highlight film at Coastal Carolina, this kid was a phenomenal. He reminds me a lot of myself. He was a receiver that kind of moved the tight end. And every time he catches the ball, he's making 2-3 guys miss. He's breaking tackles, and he's just a shifty guy. He's a really good complement to Mark Andrews. So to see both of them healthy and become dynamic parts of Lamar Jackson's offense by the end of the season, I think it's going to be a really great situation. If Mark Andrews is down, I think Isaiah Likely will get a lot of the pass plays thrown his way. And then I think if he could hold on to the ball and just protect the ball when he catches it, because people are going to definitely start putting a hat on him at some point. But he has to just continue to be strong and play hard. But I think that kid, he may emerge to be somebody really, really, really special for us, on the offensive side of the ball. We got Ronnie Stanley back, our key left tackle, so he's a huge factor in trying to get to Lamar. You know, if Long Stanley on the left side, ain't nobody getting to Lamar on the left. Tyler Linderbaum is a rookie center that we brought in this year. He was the first pick overall for us this year. And Tyler has played lights out all year. He hasn't given up a sack all year. He's right in the middle of that offensive line. And then we brought in big Morgan Moses this offseason too as a right tackle. If he's healthy, Ronnie Stanley's healthy, Tyler's healthy, and Ben Powers and, you know, Zeitler and all those guys, man. I mean, we got a pretty stout offensive line. It's going to be hard to just, you know, press them. You got to really confuse those guys to get to Lamar. You know, and once you get to Lamar, you still got to be able to tackle the kid. I mean, he's one of those guys that you know, now you see me, now you don't. He's kind of Houdini in the backfield, and then he keeps his eyes downfield. When he takes off, he can still hit you for a bomb for 40, 50, 60 yards on the run, and then he could tuck it, make 3-4 guys miss, and you know, take off for 40, 50 yards. But I mean, you right on Big Q. You gotta find a way to contain Lamar at some point, and that's all you can really hope to do with him is contain him. You can't stop him. You know, this kid has been doing this stuff.
Your sound is going in and out, Brother Daniel.
Since middle school, since Pop Warner, and he's done it every level. I mean, he was a Heisman Trophy winner at Louisville. You know, now he's in the NFL, get MVP as.
All right, we have some sound issues, brother Daniel.
Rookie,
your sound is going in and out, my brother. Can you hear me?
The league. So I mean, the kid has played on a high level for a long time, and a lot of people have been trying to stop him for years.
All right, we having a few sound issues. I hear you, brother Daniel, but your sound going in and out, my brother. Yeah, so he gonna pop back in, family. So just be cool for a second. He gonna pop back in with his sound. That happens every now and again. But he dropping some good game, man. We're gonna bring him back in here. He's gonna click in and click back out and pop back in on this thing. I got a few more questions I want to ask him, and then we're gonna end the stream. A shout out to the fan. Appreciate y'all being in this thing. 140 plus of us. Y'all crazy, man. Y'all crazy, man. AOL, man. Oh man, y'all it's crazy, man. You know, sometimes it happens, man. You know, sometimes the sound we'll get them back momentarily. Chime back in there, brother Daniel. All right, so yeah, we'll get him to pop back in. All right, so shout out to the rest of the fam. Appreciate you being in the stream, fam. Appreciate you. Yeah, we gotta listen. But what he's saying is true. A lot of family members like, yeah, but listen, he giving game, he dropping game about the squad. He know the squad inside and out. And the reality is, from the Who Dat Nation standpoint, we got the key to everything starts with Lamar Jackson. We cannot allow Lamar Jackson to do Lamar Jackson type things to the Saints defense. We can't let that. The Saints will have to have a very good outing against Lamar Jackson. And remember, this is the thing we talked about all last year up until this year, was the fact that did the Saints find an answer to stopping these athletic quarterbacks? Lamar Jackson is literally the symbol of that deficiency. when you think about mobile quarterback threats and with the Saints, that's Lamar Jackson. We've seen Kyler Murray had success previously, but the Saints will have to be disciplined in this approach. This is going to be a physical game. I was scouting Baltimore. They love to run it and play smash mouth defense. They got players that don't miss many tackles and guys that are knocking people on their you-know-whats on their backsides. So, man, let me tell you something. This is something that we just got to pay attention to. So, I mean, Brother Daniel going to pop back up here in a minute. But like I said, Roquan Smith, somebody they added to the squad. Deshaun Jackson is a guy that they added to the squad. So they got players coming in here. The key to the Saints win, in my estimation, is we've got to slow down Lamar Jackson to the best of our ability. We just got to do the best that we could do. Here come Brother Dan. You're gonna pop back in right here momentarily, but we got to slow Lamar down. We know that he rushes. He's the running back and the quarterback for the squad. He does both of those things. We know Andrews is dinged up, but the Saints have to do a good job of slowing down those tight ends, no doubt about it. And wide receivers, man, we got to watch out for their wide receivers. They got some fantastic wide receivers with a lot of speed. Man, and then on top of that, just talking about Lamar on one thing, then when you get to the Saints side of things, the Saints are going to have to gain some type of yardage against the Ravens defense. That is okay, Brother Daniel. Thank you, Brother Daniel, for popping back in, bro. Had a little internet mix up there, but we good. But let me can you hear me? Can you hear me? All right. Okay, I can't hear you, Brother Daniel. I can't hear you. I can't hear you. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, cool. We back. All right, but yeah, now let me ask you this, Brother Daniel. While we get it going here.
You frozen again.
Oh, did I? Uh-oh. Yeah.
I can hear you.
Okay, cool.
But you frozen again.
Okay. It's look like it's going in and out again. All right, Brother Daniel. Yeah. If you can hear
me,
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Yeah, you're frozen again on my camera. So
okay.
It's a bad reception.
Yeah, I think we got a bad connection there, Brother Daniel. We got a bad connection somewhere along the line.
When this happens.
Yeah. All right, so let's
I can hear you, but I can't you're freezing in and out.
Okay, it's going in and out. Yeah, the reception is bad. All right, let's do this, Brother Daniel. Give me your keys to victory, bro, for the Baltimore Ravens in the matchup. Give me your keys to victory, my brother. Okay. Yeah, I can't hear him. Okay, we still having issues. We're gonna have to see if we can work it out. All right, so yeah, it went quiet on you, my brother. I can't hear you again. I don't know what's going on with the connection. The connection's bad. Your connection's bad.
There's a horrible delay. There's a long delay.
Right. All right. Let's pop out one more time from it, Brother Daniel, and pop back in. Try that.
I can.
And maybe that. Okay, do that one more time, bro.
You.
Yeah, because it's still a delay on my end too. So let's see. Let's get Brother Daniel to kind of pop out and pop back in. Let's see if he can pop back at hard reset, as Paul said. But yeah, the key to it is this is a very difficult matchup because these people have won 2 in a row, and we're gonna get them to pop in, try one more time. But this is a very difficult matchup for the Saints. The Saints will have to bring some intensity, got to bring some passion. This Baltimore team has a very solid defense with a lot of good players there. So our offense is going to have to be up to the task. We're going to have to run the ball against this team. You heard what Brother Daniel was saying about the familiarity that the defense, not the players, but the coaching staff have some familiarity. They know Andy Dalton's tendencies for him being in Cincinnati all those years. So they know who Dalton is. They had a lot of success. Baltimore did against Dalton. So they know his weaknesses, his strengths and weaknesses, so to speak. So if I'm the Who Dat Nation and we're looking for keys to victory, we have to run the football. We're going to have to run the football against that Baltimore Ravens defense. We're going to have to test them. We're going to have to run the ball against that defense. Bottom line, ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. We got to run the ball against that team. And we'll see how it all works, but we got to challenge those guys with the run. We got to challenge those guys with the run. We got to challenge them. We got to challenge them with the run. We got to move the ball on the ground against Baltimore. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. And we can't turn the ball over. No turnovers. We got to have another game with no turnovers. All right, here go brother Daniel back again. All right, brother Daniel, here you go.
Big Q, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Sound like when you pop back in, I say, yep, it's working now. That'll work. All right, so let's do this, bro. I was talking about the Saints defense and what they needed to do. My keys to victory for the Saints was you can't stop Lamar Jackson. That's ridiculous. But we're gonna have to slow Lamar down. You mentioned he likes to use his tight end a lot, whether Andrews or Likely is there. We're gonna have to slow that down. We're gonna have to put pressure on Lamar. We have to have some gap discipline here and keep him contained, and then be able to still put pressure on him to kind of fluster him a bit. We definitely got to spy him, ain't no doubt about it, because he'll kill you 8 ways from Tuesday. Outside of that, the defense, now when it flips to the offensive side for us, scoring touchdowns, moving the ball, we got to run against the Baltimore Ravens defense, and they're very good, but we still got to test them because it's one of those games. Well, it's a mono game. We're going to have to challenge them. It's going to be physical. It's going to be a nasty affair, but we got to challenge the defense. We got to run the ball. Andy Dalton, to me, is in.
That's your key.
Right.
I'm telling you, that's your key right there.
We got to run it against the Baltimore defense, no doubts about it, to set up the play action, to do all the other stuff that we like to do that gives us some success. We got to be able to do that. Now, Mark Ingram, as you know, Brother Daniel, he's hurt. Latest reports got Ingram out for 3 to 4 weeks with a knee issue. We did pick up several weeks back Jordan Howard, former Philadelphia Eagle running back that we've been having sitting on the practice squad, marinated. I'm thinking the Saints will give him an opportunity to get in there. We'll form like an Elvin Kamara, Jordan Howard tandem, more like a Thunder and Lightning type of situation with, you know who Thunder is, with Howard and Lightning at AK-41. So running the ball against the Baltimore Ravens to set up the play action is something that I think we got to have success with. No turnovers against this opportunistic Baltimore team. We cannot turn the ball over. And if we get down in their field, we can't get touchdowns. We got to hit those field goals. Will Lutz was 1 or 2 in the previous matchup. So I'm thinking that's the keys to victory. The dome is going to be loud. It's going to cause some issues for the Baltimore Ravens, but the Saints have got to harness that. Yes, they will. Yes, they will. It's got to help us. It's going to help us. But that's my keys to victory, Brother Daniel. What's the keys to victory for the Baltimore Ravens, sir?
I like what you said about the attacking the Ravens defense. To me, right now, if I had to say if there's a weak spot on our team, I'd say it's the defense right now, which you can never say before, right? That's not something that you can never say. So I feel like if you really want to try to beat us, you have to go hard on our defense. You got to be aggressive, physical, and you got to try to out physicality them, throughout the entire game from 4 quarters, because they'll figure out what you're doing. Once they figure it out, they'll thug you out right back at you, But I think the keys for the game for Baltimore, honestly, I always say you got to win 2 phases of the game. There's 3 phases. There's 3 phases of the game. All right, there's offense, there's defense, there's special teams. If you win 2 out of those 3, then you usually win every game. I always feel like we're gonna win on special teams because our head coach is a special teams guy, John Harbaugh. Came from Philadelphia. He was a head special teams guy there. He came from being a head special teams coach to being a head coach in the NFL, which is virtually unheard of. So
that is unheard of. Yes.
Yeah. So he paid very close attention to special teams, and he takes it personal if we don't play well on special teams. So I say we're going to win the battle on special teams. And I'm a Will Lutz guy. I coached at Georgia State, so Will Lutz. Yeah, Will Lutz is a Georgia State guy. So when I was there, we talked quite a bit. But I feel like we're going to win the battle on special teams. We got Justin Tucker. He's the X factor always on special teams. And then the offensive battle, I think, is going to be hard for Andy Dalton to outplay Lamar Jackson. I grew up in this league being a receiver my entire life, and I know how important the quarterback position is, and I just feel like there's not a quarterback in the entire league right now as dynamic as Lamar Jackson with height, pound for pound, weight, size, stature, playmaking ability, can throw the ball, accurate as he can, because I feel like he's extremely accurate when he wants to be, or when he's on his mark, he's super accurate. He has some off games just like everybody else does, but for the most part, he's one of the most accurate quarterbacks I feel like in the league. And he dropped dime after dime every week. Every week you'll see him drop a dime. So stopping Lamar is going to be virtually impossible to do. That's just how I feel. The offensive line is too good. We got really good wide receivers. We got really good. Nobody thought the wide receivers were going to be good this year. They thought that was going to be the weak link, but I don't think that's a problem anymore at all. I think those guys have proved themselves. The young guys, Duvernay's, the Batemans. Prochet still hasn't emerged yet as being the guy that I know he is, but he's coming for the number one spot against somebody this year, I'm telling you. And then of course our tight ends are phenomenal, and then we banged up in the backfield again this year as we was last year, but I think we get some really outstanding play by Kenyon Drake, and I think they need to get him the ball a little bit more. Gus Edwards is back, but I know he's banged up too as well. It'll be interesting to kind of see how well our defense play. So I think the key to this game is controlling the clock for offense. If our offense controls the clock, Andy Dalton won't get the ball at all. So it doesn't matter what he does on offense because he won't have enough time to do anything. So if we can control the clock and keep the ball in our hands and win the time of possession battle, and then win the game on special teams and put points on the board in the red zone, not just kick field goals, that'll be the X factor for us winning this game, offense and special teams. Our defense is always going to be usually bend but don't break. And they're going to play you hard. They're going to play hard. They're going to play physical. I don't know how long it's going to take for Roquan to really, gel in this new defense that he's playing in, but I know at Georgia they played a 3-4, so he's been in the 3-4 before. Yeah. It's no big thing for him. He's going to come in. He'll get it figured out. And hopefully him and Queen, side by side, LSU and Georgia. I mean, you can't be mad at that, right? So, and then don't forget we just went and got Justin, not Justin Tucker, but what's my big boy, number 4? My defensive end, the one that blew his fingers off from the Giants. Pierre Paul. Pierre Paul. Yeah. So we went and got Pierre Paul, and he's gonna, he's still getting his legs underneath him. This week may be the week he might feel good. So I mean, we got some studs, man, and it's gonna be interesting to see with our cornerbacks. We got two elite cornerbacks. It's gonna be great to see what they do this week. I know they're gonna take this game a little bit personal too. We've had some rough losses this year, and these guys are trying to prove themselves. We still got a number 1 pick that has started to show up. Hamilton back there, number 14, he's starting to show up a little bit and make some plays. And you got to stud with him, bro. Yeah, I'm proud of that guy. He's gonna be real good for y'all. I think so too. I'm glad you said that, Big Q. I feel the same way, man. And I just feel like he's really waiting to emerge as an elite guy. And it might not happen this year for him. He might not be the kid to get the Rookie of the Year award, but he's going to be a Pro Bowler in about the next 2 or 3 years. I guarantee you. He's just getting his feet kind of sunk into the turf right now. And I think he started off so high in training camp, that he had to kind of come back down once the season started a little bit. Right. And I think he's going to kind of gradually kind of build himself back up, where he really can play and be effective for us, Man. Yeah, y'all got some players, bro. I'm looking at the depth chart here, man. I'm just like, if they can put it together, they're gonna be a force there, man. But at the end of the day, that's my keys to it. A score prediction on it, brother Daniel. How do you think the score goes? I'm gonna stick where I've been the last 2 or 3 weeks. I suck at this score prediction thing. I'm not very good at this, man. Part of the reason why, because I feel like I'm true to heart on my offensive guy, so I always feel like we're gonna score, an absurd amount of points. So I'm gonna be at 35. I'm gonna say the Ravens are gonna be 35. Saints are gonna be around 14-17. What? 45. I just don't think Andy Dalton. You said 35 to 14. 14, 17 points from the Saints. And I'm saying, what I'm basically saying is that our motto when I was in Baltimore on defense, Ray Lewis used to come to me before the play. He said, Willie, all y'all got to do is score 2. Score 2 touchdowns, we're gonna win. Because he's not gonna give up 100 yards rushing. And we're not going to let you score over 21 points on us. And our defense was guaranteed to score once, or our special team was guaranteed to score once. So that's 1 point from the special team, 1 point from the defense, and 2 from the offense. That's all you need. But now that you got such a dynamic offense, the way that we have now with a Lamar Jackson back, we never had a Lamar Jackson at quarterback in Baltimore. You know, so now that we do, I'm gonna say Lamar gonna get 21 by himself. You know, some kind of way. You know, throwing the ball, running the ball, and then you know we're gonna find a way to score 1 or 2 more. So I'm gonna go with 35 to 14 or 17.
35-17.
I'm gonna give y'all 17 because y'all got Will Lutz.
Okay, he giving. 35-17 in the dome.
In the dome.
Are you serious, brother Daniel?
Dome.
Oh,
absolutely.
My goodness, no. Here's mine. I think it's gonna be closer than that.
You think so?
Yes, sir. I do.
Wishful thinking.
I'm just keeping. I'm telling you, it's gonna be a little closer. It's 27.
I think you in a sports coma right now. Oh man, I don't think it's gonna be that close, man. I'm telling you, I don't think it's gonna be
what you talking about? Why would you think that it wouldn't be anything else?
I basically just told you. I think we're gonna control the clock, so I don't think you guys are gonna get the ball.
You're not gonna control the clock.
We are. We definitely are. We definitely gonna control it.
How you gonna
y'all don't even have Mark Ingram right now.
We don't.
You know? That's true. You do got Alvin Kamara. He's an ATLian too, so I give you that.
Listen,
you know,
you see how he been playing lately, though, huh?
He's a monster. He's an absolute monster.
All right,
he can't do it by himself, though.
He don't have to. He got some. See, you don't know about the under the cover, the unjeweled guys, the jewel guys. You don't know about the good ones. The what you call them? The crowns. What is it? The unknown guys. Like the ones that ain't got the big names, like the
Duvernays, the Batemans, the Proches,
not like them, like the Chris Olaves and the Taysom Hills and those guys.
Everybody know who Taysom Hill is. That crap ain't working on us.
But I'm saying at the end of the day, you still got to stop him. You know, you said Lamar is you can't stop Lamar. Can you stop Taysom?
Yes, we just got we got Roquan and McQueen in the middle. Remember that now. You just got to keep reverting back to LSU, Georgia. Just keep thinking LSU, Georgia in the middle of the field. They're not running none of that mess up the middle. Not this week. I can guarantee you if Roquan to come out and he started to play like he's been playing and where he just came from, and that's only, so that's all I'm saying. I mean, I'm giving you, I want to give you your flowers, man, but I just can't do it this week.
But how you, I just don't understand, brother Daniel, how you tell me I asked you for a score and then you tell me 35-17 in the dome.
That's a good score because Will Lutz going to keep the field goal.
For who?
For y'all, 14, 15, 16, 17. That's Will Lutz right there.
No.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Big Q. I'm not.
No, it's not.
Look, it's no disrespect. It's no disrespect. But I just want you to understand, like, I really think this week is the week that our firepower is going to come together on offense. We've been beat up.
Lamar and the rest of the guys, Deshaun, and all them guys.
We ain't had Ronnie Stanley in 2 years, bro. Like, this is literally his third game back this week, and he's probably going to play the entire game for the first time. So it's
he's a part of why y'all guys have won 2 games in a row. I'll tell you now, he's a big part of that. I was looking at him being there, and the offensive line is very good. Yeah. But it's just something about the Saints being an underdog in their own building. Yeah. When you put the Saints down, you got to watch out for that. That's what I'm saying. Because the Ravens are the favorites coming into this thing, which is fine. It's 2 things. The Saints play very well as underdogs, and they play really well with underdog status in prime time. Right. So I'm gonna warn you about that. That's why I said I think it'll be a little closer. I still have the Saints coming out 27-24.
This is my only problem with that. Like I like that 27-24. That sounds good. That's basically saying that Justin Tucker is gonna get that 3 to beat y'all. I got you.
No. That's Will Lutz, sir.
No. You had the Saints winning?
Yes.
Oh, that's good, man. I like the way you holding them down. Somebody got to do it.
Right.
But what I'm telling you
I thank you for Will Lutz, because y'all guys, it was Harbaugh that called Coach Payton and told him, hey, I got a kicker for you. We was playing musical chairs with the kicker. So I thank you for that.
I appreciate it.
And as a bonus for thanking you for that, we're gonna use Will Lutz to kick you into a loss. No hard feelings.
It's okay. I'll take that because you're in New Orleans. Y'all got Mardi Gras. Y'all got Bourbon Street. Y'all got really good food. Those crawfish boils on point. But at the end of the day, the Ravens has always been the black sheep of this league, always, and we play great on prime time. And you check the record on us on Monday Night Football. It's pretty. It looks really, really good for us. It says a lot about who we are as an organization. I'm telling you right now, I felt like we used to play against the team we was playing against and the referees and the people in the stadium. Yeah, everywhere we go, So I always felt like we was the black sheep of the league. Nobody liked us, no matter what. We had Ray Lewis. People would go there, they have signs. You still a murderer, all that type of mess. People were just ignorant, man, when we played them. It's just, we always been the black sheep of the league. So even though y'all the underdogs, everybody know who the real underdogs is here. Everybody, no, us. They always look at us like we the underdog, no matter what. Like nobody likes
ain't looking at you the underdog in this game.
That's because we got Lamar Jackson. So they giving us points just because of that. But I'm telling you right now, everybody still think that the Ravens, nobody likes the Ravens. That's how we look at it. It's us against the world. That's why we got the thing say play like a Raven. Just play like a freaking Raven. If we come down to New Orleans and we play like a Raven, the Mardi Gras bees ain't gonna be able to help y'all. The Who Days ain't gonna be able to help y'all. Freaking Taysom Hill ain't gonna be able to help y'all. Will Lutz ain't gonna be able to help y'all. Y'all could put all three quarterbacks in the game at the same time. They all getting hit simultaneously. If we come down there and play like a Raven,
I just say
wrap.
He's drawing the gauntlet down.
I hope I don't even want to see how the people gonna react when they see this video, man. They're gonna be cussing me out. Who does this guy think he is?
See, you're giving them building board material. So that's why I said, like, come on, brother. You heard what Brother Daniel said, man. You heard what he said,
man.
Yeah, see, and then they're going to thank you for giving them. They say 27-24 Saints, Will Lutz. I still don't know how y'all going to stop some of the guys. How do you stop Elvin Kamara? How do you stop Taysom Hill? How do you stop Chris Olave?
You answered that question for yourself.
How I didn't?
Yeah, you did.
Remind me what I said.
When we first started this thing, man, y'all got Roquan Smith.
Roquan Smith is first game in, though. That's a tall order.
Go look, and what I tell you to do, I say go look at the depth chart.
Yeah, I know.
That joke already penciled in.
That sucker right next to Pat Quinn. Like, look at that, man. Yeah.
We start, like, to me, that's what Raven football has always been about, having great linebackers. And I think we look good in the middle of the field right now, the defensive line.
Y'all got Houston too.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And then we getting back Tyus Bowser too. He just came back off IR for the first time since last season. So, when you start to look at the guys, that's how we starting to get healthy for the first time in a long time, man. And people don't understand that. So last year people just counted us out and we weren't very good at all. We started off steamrolling people, and then we started getting all those injuries. And then by the end of the season, we literally was playing with our fourth string, fifth string. We were picking up guys off the street just to get through a game. And, then Lamar got hurt, and then Huntley was so good when he came in. People was like, oh, the Ravens are still fired, but he was out there running for his life too, Mm-hmm. So when you think about it, man, it's just when we're just now starting to get, almost about 90%, so we're not even at 100% still, so at 90% with our talent, with the talent level that we have, we could be very dangerous and we could be very scary. And at some point we're going to have a breakout game. And I'm hoping it's this week. This Monday night. There's no better time to do it on prime time.
That's true, and that's why it's a great time for the Saints to be able to. We did our breakout game against the Raiders last week when we stumped them 24-0. We held Devontae Adams to 3 yards.
I'm reading the dog writer. He talking about it's about to be bird guts all over the dome Sunday. That's hilarious. I love it, man. That's why I love football, bro.
Shout out, dog. Shout out. Thanks for the super chat, man.
Go ahead, big dog. I love football, bro. I'm telling you. This is the only sport, dog, you can knock somebody's head off, bro, and don't go to jail for it. It's the best. This is the best sport in the world, bro. I'm telling you, Big Q.
Hey, you're right. That's pretty funny, man. Thank you for that, dog. But but what you expect, brother Dan? You got all these Who-Dats in here.
Yeah, man.
How about the Ravens gonna beat them 35-17 or something like that, brother?
Hey, all I can tell you, they about to get their skeet shooters ready. They're gonna have to shoot these birds out the air. They coming.
They gotta come to the dome. Listen. You said they need a breakout game. I'm sorry, I don't see that happening. The Saints are going to duplicate. The Saints are going to duplicate what they did from last week, and you know what that means? That means bad news for the Baltimore Ravens.
Okay. We got we got bulletin boards at our locker room too. So I appreciate you, Q, for all the bulletin board action you're giving us.
Well, that's fine because I want them to play up to I don't want to hear no excuses from the Raven family members after y'all have to collect this L. So listen, let me ask you this, brother Daniel, because you got them fired up in the chat. But let me.
Well, I'm saying, I know you said collect that L. You know, we already got the L. We got Lamar.
Yeah, but we got the extra L to go with him.
No, we won't need an extra one. We got the best one in the world.
You ain't gonna have no choice. You got to take it and put it on the right. Can't take it. Jameis eating W's. That's what we gonna do with Dalton at the helm.
All we gonna do is collect them L's all year long, baby. Lamar. Everybody gonna collect the Lamar by the end of this year.
All right. Well, you know what? I want to see y'all. I want to see y'all in the Super Bowl because that's what we shooting for, to get on that into the Super Bowl. And hopefully,
you think this the year for y'all to go to the Super Bowl?
If we listen, I'm gonna keep it real. I'm gonna keep it
don't
real.
Don't lie on this chat.
No, sir.
Tell the truth.
I keep that.
Okay.
I've been doing this for a while. And
just because you got all these who days in this chat, I don't want you to be saying lying. I want you to tell the truth. Give me your God honest truth now.
Now I'm gonna keep it real with you.
Okay.
All of the who that family members out there know that this team, if they run the ball, because they recently just found their identity. The first several matchups, they were trying to pass the ball, and that wasn't their identity. And I was saying it in the first one, like, man, this team's not a passing team. They're a running team. When they lost those games and stumbled and flumbled away a lot of stuff, they started running the ball, and then they had all this great success, and then they were having the turnovers. Then they started to not turn the ball over as much, and they just really stuck to it. They gathered an identity. Right. And like you said about a lot of some of the impactful players from your squad, the Saints will gain a lot of these guys back later on in the year. We're about to get Trevor Penning back, our first-round draft pick offensive lineman. We're going to get Jarvis Landry. Remember, Jarvis Landry's there. And Mike Thomas. Those guys will trickle back. And Marshawn Lattimore and all these other guys that
are both of them out this week? Thomas and Landry? I saw they both was questionable. That's what I'm asking.
Right. Yeah. It's right now it stands that they're out. Right now. So but it does. But what it shows you is our depth from the guys that you don't know. The Marquez Callaways, the Rashid Shaheeds. These guys are going to hurt you. It's the names that don't know, like you talked about Duvernay and these guys. These guys can kind of they're going to upset you a bit. We got a guy off the practice squad, straight off the practice squad. He had 2 touchdowns in back-to-back matchups. So the guy's phenomenal. He's
what's his name?
Rashid Shaheed.
I knew that's who he was about to say. 89.
89.
But he balled out. Well, I watched that kid. I was so happy for that kid, man. And to me, that's what this league is all about. It's always about next man up, right? Yes, and it's about, like I was telling you, like every team is loaded with All-Americans. Everybody on their team got an All-American. I'm a Hall of Famer at my college at App State. You know what I'm saying? And I was behind Todd Heap in Baltimore, even though I was a starting H-back. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's like when you see that, it's like you don't know who these guys are because they ain't got these big names. Right. But everywhere they came from, it was huge. Yeah. When they walked in the room, everybody got little. So it's like don't get it twisted. All these teams are stacked. Even the worst team in this league is stacked with ballers. It's just all about chemistry. And it's all about that injury bug that you was just talking about. So if you guys are starting to get guys back, I would hate to play you guys and put 35 up on y'all and y'all only score 17 without y'all 2 starting receivers. I feel like it wouldn't even be fair. It's not the right way to beat you. That's what happened with Baltimore last year. Everybody beat up on us at the end of the year last year, and we was down 30 plus guys from our starting lineup.
Was banged up really bad last year. I remember that. Yeah, they were hitting. They were really coming down with some really serious critique on Lamar Jackson. Was so unfair what he was going through. They're saying guys whether or not to pay the man or not. I'm like, dude, you let that guy get out there and you're gonna see some sports. Let the Baltimore fool around and let Lamar out the building. Gonna be wearing black and gold. I tell you one thing.
I know that's right, boy. He might be right. He might be wearing red and black. You know what I'm saying? Like only helmet up there I ain't got back there in the back is a Falcon helmet. I need a Falcon helmet. No, I ain't got a Saints helmet either. I need to get a Saints. I need to call Cadet and tell Cadet to send me one of his Saints helmets.
There you go.
But you know what I'm saying?
What you got that you paid for Tampa Bay, didn't you, brother?
Yeah, that's what I won the Super Bowl with Tampa in 02, 03.
That's right.
Yeah, that's the Super Bowl I was on with and with the Bucks.
Yeah, we got to get you a helmet there. We got to get you a Saints helmet. I know you didn't play for the Saints, but that's going to be the not the centerpiece, but that'll be a good helmet to have along there with brother Travis Cadet and the rest of them. There you be representing because you taught them.
Absolutely. Those my guys. Those my guys, man. Like even Will Lutz. I got a lot of respect for Will. I love the way he's kind of paved the name for himself through this league, man. And I believe the Saints. I've always known the Saints have had a phenomenal team. When Gary Payton was there, and Drew Brees, to me, I don't know
Sure.
how y'all didn't win freaking 5 Super Bowls, 6 Super Bowls. Like, if it wasn't for somebody like Tom Brady, your Peyton Mannings that Drew Brees had to play against,
Yeah.
y'all would have probably won 4 or 5 Super Bowls, man. I'm telling you straight up. And it's like Tom Brady took at least 1 or 2 from me, in Baltimore. So I know how it feels to play against
7
that
of them,
guy.
don't you?
Yeah. It's just
He
selfish.
took a lot of them. Yeah, that's so selfish. That's
why Giselle said, I'm tired. I'm tired of you being selfish, taking all these other guys Super Bowl rings like Wilcox and Big Q. She was like, I'm sick of this mess. Let them have some rings, and you already gave me a wedding band. So that's why she like, I'm out.
Man, that's crazy, man. Yeah, you said that was great what you said early on about the game. Them guys being fixated in on the game to the point where he can't say enough is enough and turn it loose. Drew Brees was here till what, 40 years old?
Yeah.
And the Saints didn't like usher him out. They let him make the decision to say, I ain't coming back. They ain't just, okay, Drew, go ahead and we're gonna move on. But I mean, something, man.
Drew did it the right way. He left and then come back.
Right. They was trying to get him back. Now, when the injuries started piling up last year, he's like, nah, I'm going to just talk about the game on TV. It hurt too much.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. You don't realize how much it hurts really until you stop playing. You're so wrapped up in what you're doing. The injuries do pile up, and they pile up quite a bit. And you take the shots, you take the pills, you do whatever you got to take to be able to play at your best, at week in and week out. You see guys get the shot between their toes, shot on their butts, shot on their backs, shoulders, neck, anywhere they can get it, that they don't feel that pain while they go out there and play. I mean, it's one of the most physical, funnest games I think you could possibly play on this earth. And I love the way the game is played. I hate the fact that they're making it less physical, but you understand why they're doing it to prolong the game and to try to keep the game, to try to keep these guys healthy. They're starting to get a little bit ridiculous with these quarterback calls. This is probably the most ridiculous year I think I've ever seen them, like, roughing the passer calls. And you fall down. If you fall down on top of them, you guaranteed to get a personal foul. It's crazy.
They might as well just give him a towel or something and tell him, pull it here. Don't touch him. Just pull the tag right here, and then he's sacked. That's what it's coming down to. You know what they need to do? I'm glad you said that, Q. They need to put an airbag on the quarterbacks. An airbag? Yeah. So when you run by them, you could pull the string and pop the airbag. How does it inflate? Did the referee run up and then when as soon as on impact, right? You hit them, boom, impact, airbag pops out. So when they hit the ground, they got cushion, and we good. You know what I'm saying? Like, that'd be really cool. Like, you put airbags on their jersey. Them a lot of them quarterbacks would really love that, man. That'll get rid of the penalty where now you can actually hit them hard, because as soon as on impact, the airbag pops out between you and the quarterback, and between the quarterback and the ground. That solves the problem. Now we can go back to playing football the way we used to play it, baby. I'm telling you right now, airbags. We done turned them into a car. Boy, I'm telling you right now, if we invent that right now, Q, if we invent airbags for jerseys and shoulder pads, we might be on to something. Somebody out there thinking about that, like, you know what, man? Impact, you got the jersey inside there, and they puff out yeah, man. They probably taking about. We might be on to something. Hold on, let me text. Let me text Shark Tank right quick. I don't know what time it is. Yeah, but hey, listen, Brother Daniel. Listen, what's your schedule looking like for Monday night, bro? Are you able to pop up on the recap stream? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Win, lose, or draw. Absolutely. So you want to pop up after the game or during the game, or what? Well, however you feel, I'll send you the link, and you can pop up during the game or after the game. Because us at the Who Dat Nation, we always offer the preview, and then you're always free to come back on the recap. Yeah, to kind of talk about the game, win, lose, and draw. I would love to, Big Q. I would come back in a heartbeat, man. You're the man. You're doing a great job down there in the sports Coma, man, in New Orleans, man. You're doing a phenomenal job, man. And I know Who Dat Nation got to really appreciate you taking your time. This stuff takes a lot of time to do, and do the research and put all this stuff together, man. So, big ups to you, and a lot of respect to you and what you're doing down there. Thank you, bro. Same to you, man. You got a phenomenal podcast going on too up there with the Bleav and the Ravens podcast, bro. Matter of fact, tell the family members about where they can find you at and how they can support you, Brother Daniel. Well, if you go on IG, you can get me on IG at Daniel.Wilcox at Instagram. And then if you go to Twitter, I'm at Coach Wilcox on Twitter. And then the Bleav in the Network podcast is on every single streaming thing that you can get it on, Apple, all of them. It's on all the podcast networks. So the Bleav in the Ravens podcast, and that's me and Bo Smoker. He's a locker room sideline reporter up in Baltimore.
he's kind of a big deal, you know. So Bo kind of really, he's the head host. I'm the co-host of the show, and we basically just talk about the Ravens week in and week out, kind of like what Big Q is doing down in New Orleans. But you know, but we kind of tag team and stuff. You know, he bounced a lot of stuff off me, so you get a lot of player insight. You know, kind of like what I shared tonight. You know, just kind of telling you some of my stories and things like that, man. But it's, you know, it gets to be really entertaining sometimes, and depending on what we're talking about, and you know, week in and week out, we're gonna have some jokes, we're gonna have some laughs. You know, we also will have some times that gonna make you might want to, you know, tear up a little bit, because you know it gets pretty emotional, man. It's a really emotional game, and when you see people do dumb stuff out there on the field, it's because your emotions are evolved. They're really, really involved in this game, and it's no way to take the emotion out of this game. That's what makes this game so special.
Yeah, bro, you're absolutely right, man. And we talked about the game and the physicality and the emotions and getting everything involved, and that'll be a key to it. Harnessing the momentum of the game and controlling that, possessing the clock and dominating the line of scrimmage from both sides is key to this thing. So I think the mindset of these teams is so identical, because they're both rushing teams, good defensive teams. It's going to be a battle of wills in Monday, and I think the ultimate underliner for success will be the fact that the Saints will play with the underdog ways, and they ultimately will come out with the victory, 27-24 over the Baltimore Ravens.
Will Lutz kicking the game-winning touchdown, the mean field goal. I'm sorry.
I like it.
Yeah,
I like it.
Go, yeah. Will Lutz.
Yes, there you go. right down the crossbar.
Right down the middle of the crossbars. I'm telling you right now.
That's what.
But also, there's a Raven victory that's gonna happen Monday night as well. 35-17. Will Lutz gonna kick that last 3 points for y'all. The 17. He gonna get you 17. But we gonna score that 35 on y'all boys. And Justin Tucker is gonna go like in the record books for never missing an extra point in his career. You know, so we appreciate y'all for giving us that 35-point lead and that 35-point spot, you know, for the next win on Monday Night Football, on prime time, in the Superdome, in New Orleans. And then, you know, we're not going to Bourbon Street, so don't call us trying to get us to go out. We're going to stay in our rooms. We're not having parties with you guys. Don't be trying to send scrippers to our hotel room. None of that stuff. We're not falling for the okie doke. We refuse to fall for the banana and tailpipe against you guys this year.
No,
so don't even try it.
We ain't gonna dare do that, because listen, we want you guys to be 100%, so there'll be no excuses when you have to collect that extra L along with Lamar. Now, I will give you this though. I will give this, Brother Daniel. The Baltimore Ravens series between the Saints, you guys are 5-2 overall for the life series. Right. So that bodes well. And then the final question for you, Brother Daniel, is with you and the Baltimore Ravens, man, your quarterback was Trent Dilfer, right?
I never played with Trent, but yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so with the Super Bowl Ravens team, right?
Yeah,
the Super Bowl Ravens. The quarterback that went to the Super Bowl with the Ravens,
Dilfer.
It was Dilfer, right?
Yes.
All right. So my correlation is what's going to happen is similar to what we got going on with the Saints. So we running with Andy Dalton.
Okay.
Right?
So you putting Andy Dalton in the same bowl?
Well, not in the same bowl, but maybe next in the same area, perhaps in the same playground.
That sucks.
No, I'm not saying it.
I hope Andy hear this mess before the game. Andy hear this mess before the game. He gonna like, man, that's how the Saints. That's how my fans think of me here. Man.
I'm saying, but speaking from a backup, a lot of people say, "Hey, Q, I don't think we can go to the Super Bowl. We got a backup quarterback," and I'm like, "Nah, I don't. I think you can still get to the game. I think running the ball, playing defense, solid special teams helps you get to that level." So what's your thought? Well, you already know that Trent Dilfer and Andy Dalton, obviously. I think Andy's better than Trent Dilfer. But Trent Dilfer didn't stop the Ravens from getting to that level, you know? And remember, his touchdown to interception ratio was 11? I think it was 11-12, wasn't it? Something like that. 11-14. Or I don't know what the touchdown to interception ratio was. It wasn't very good.
It has to be pretty bad, whatever it was. It couldn't have been great.
Ray Lewis from getting that Super Bowl though, and Dilfer was the guy at the helm.
You know, this is what I want to say to you right now, Big Q. That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard a man say. But you have to understand the year that and both of the Super Bowls was the same. The one I won down in Tampa and the one the Ravens won in 2000, right? They was the exact same, basically prototype of a team. the defense, arguably one of the top defenses in the history of the NFL. You know, in Baltimore, you know, with Ray Lewis and all those guys that year, Siragusa, all those guys, they was the number one defense in the whole league that year. And they was arguably one of the best defenses in the world,
I'll
you know,
give you that.
in the history of the NFL.
In the history. Yeah.
Yeah. And then in Tampa, it was the same thing, you know, with Warren Sapp and Simeon Rice and Derrick Brooks and Rondé Barber, Brian Kelly, Dwight Smith, you know, the Super Bowl MVP was Dexter Jackson that year. Shelton Quarles, who's now like the head guy, he's like the general manager, I think, almost in Tampa. Shelton Quarles is, you know, but that prototype for those 2 Super Bowl wins was the best defensive on paper, the defense one of the best defenses you've ever seen. Like they didn't give up no runs, they didn't give up no big plays. Like they really the turnover game was ridiculous. You know, like the Super Bowl we won in Tampa, it was 5 picks that game. 5 interceptions. I think 2 of them was pick sixes, maybe 3 of them was pick sixes. I know Derrick Brooks had a pick 6. I know Dwight Smith had a pick 6. Dexter Jackson had 2 to start the game off. You know, I mean, it was like 5 or 6 interceptions that year, that game. You know, so when you start to really think about the dynamic of what Dilfer had as a defense, you can't put that up next to the Saints defense right now. You can't arguably say right now in your right mind, Big Q, that the Saints defense is the number 1 defense right now in the NFL.
No, not at all. But what I'm saying is we still got some cleaning up to do is what I'm saying. And listen, the Saints was looked at as one of the top defenses in the NFL last year. We were a few players off. Now, a couple of guys, we got the Honey Badger, we got Marcus May, that as additions, the Saints defense is solidifying. I think they were missing that attitude, and they've gained that attitude because all of the fire that they were getting from the poor play. You know, so we have a lot of playmakers on the defense, a lot of smart and talented players. Demario Davis, Cam Jones. I mean, these are phenomenal players that we have. Tyron and the rest of them that operates well. We have a good young core of players that go around those guys. But what I'm saying is that the quarterback position wasn't an impedance for the Baltimore Ravens that year when they won it. Despite what he was doing, he wasn't perfect up there. His stats didn't look good at all. But you also had Jamal Lewis there too. Jamal Lewis he
only had one job. The quarterback only had 1 yard. Don't screw it up. Like don't turn the ball over, and whatever you do, don't turn the ball over. That's his only job, really. Don't turn the ball over. Get the ball to Jamal.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's pretty much all he had to do. Control the clock. Don't turn the ball over, and we're gonna win. Because the thing that the Ravens did so well that year is they didn't let nobody score.
Right.
You couldn't score on them. So if you can't score points, how you gonna win?
Right.
You know, so that, and then they turned around and scored points for you. You know, so when you got a defense,
big sixes,
you know, so if y'all would have had, if y'all had Honey Badger and y'all still had Marcus Williams, that makes y'all defense even that much better. But y'all let him go to us. We appreciate y'all for that. Thank you.
Don't worry. Well, you're welcome. And
we
we're gonna return
y'all.
the favor with a loss coming up on Monday night, baby.
I mean, I hear you talking.
You just make sure you show up in the building on Monday night, sir. And you kind
of remind me of Ray Lewis a little bit.
There you go.
You could be his dad or something, or his brother.
His dad. He's older than me. I'm 45.
You look on the top of his head, he missing a little bit. He's missing a little bit more, too much help. Yeah. Y'all look like y'all could be brothers, man, for real. I'm 45 too, kid. We the same age, man.
There you go. See, that's how we know all the good game there, bro. We done went through the fires and then moved up to higher stuff. But listen, brother Daniel, man, listen, bro. I like to thank you, man. It's been a blast, man, having you here. Terrific, man. Love what you're doing over there with the Bleav in the Ravens podcast, man. Keep doing great stuff, bro. Love the game that you're dropping. We'll be looking forward to seeing you
Monday night. Yeah, so, don't be ducking and dodging me, Q.
No, I'm gonna be live streaming the entire night. I do watch parties, so I'm there from the start to the finish. So yeah, I'm not gonna duck you. So I'm gonna be there.
I'll jump in. I'll cue in when I can.
That's right. That's right. So with that being said, man, thank brother Daniel for popping in. I know y'all enjoy. Hope y'all enjoyed yourself. We enjoyed ourselves here. Feel free to subscribe to the Bleav in Ravens podcast and get great commentary here. Brother Daniel will be back for the Monday night matchup with the Saints to get that dub. and he won't be so happy. He gonna have to his energy gonna be a little down, so we're gonna have to lift him up because the Saints are marching in with a win, baby, not a loss. But
y'all dub is on the bench, but our L is coming for y'all.
Your L is the loss and Lamar.
You see how I did that? Y'all dub is on the bench.
That's why
but our L is coming for y'all.
That's why I had to send it back to.
All right, Big Q.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you, bro. I talked to this guy here for a whole nother hour, man. Thank you.
All right, man.
All right, y'all hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, man. And I'm gonna holler at y'all on the flip side. Yeah, I'm sorry, Lo, man. I'm up here having a blast. Yeah, I'm about to switch on over, family. We're gonna get on the watch stream, the NFC South roundtable with Big Lo from the Atlanta side of things. Our dogs, Dave and Rashad from the PNP camp, and also Big Game James for Tampa Bay's Big Game James podcast. We about to hop off there. They waiting on me because I'm up here running my mouth. Shout out to the family. I'm holler at y'all on the flip side. Who that to you? We out.
Yeah. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Long as I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports Coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, 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 Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shame for the championship. Bucking on Tampa, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy and you probably smell the crooked referees are Roger Goodell. Yeah, probably like this and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.